Hey, what's going on, family? Welcome to your Monday night live stream. I am one of your hosts, Sir Ashley Harrison, and tonight we have two very interesting topics right now. We're going to talk about mortgage rates and how they're headed down. It is coming down rather fast. We're down over 1.5 points since the peak of last year, and how these new NAR rules can lead to more discrimination in housing. Discrimination has always taken place in housing, but these new rules may allow it to happen without it being regulated or seen as much. As always, I have my co-host, Amber Neek. Now, I was ready to go at 7:15. I'm keeping her backstage because she's gonna try to contest this because I had my mic set up backstage, said it was working properly, and we usually test everything out beforehand. And she's like, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. So I went through two different mics, so three mics in total, and it turns out that her computer was just muted. So this is Amber Neek, and this is why we are about 10 to 15 minutes late. What's going on, Ambernique? How you doing?
I am doing amazing, but I'll take the blame. How's everyone doing?
Happy Monday. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Y'all know he never on time. But yeah.
I was here. I was here. So today, we got to let people come on in. Go ahead, put where you're from, where you're watching from. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the chat below. And be sure to like this video and share it with friends and colleagues because this is an episode that I believe will touch close to home. And even if you think it may not pertain to you, it pertains to somebody you know, a loved one. So please share this because we have a few guests coming on a little later. And this is just vital information. Elizabeth, thank you for tuning in from Charleston. Actually, we have what?
All
You
righty,
want to
look.
call yourself a Charlestian? What do you call yourselves?
Charlestonian. That's what it's called.
Charlestonian. Okay, okay.
A Gucci for life.
That is the truth. That's the truth. What's going on? Hello, hello. Allie, welcome. Thank you for watching. Thank you for rocking with us every Monday. Definitely appreciate it. We got 18 people here. And what do I want to touch on first? One, life has been crazy the past couple weeks. The TV winner, we're gonna get them in this week or early next week. I know I have to go out of town and I've been under the weather, so we will make sure that happens. We're gonna get them into the office, Ambernique. So we got to schedule a time that's convenient for you because we know you're always running around and between Charleston, Greensboro, everywhere, Greenville, Spartanburg,
Working.
working. Yeah, yeah. So we got to make sure we get you in here. Um, so I was gonna say today we actually hit a new 52-week low for mortgage interest rates. Now, interest rates right now on average, national average is 6.25. Now, a lot of you may be like, wow, that's still high, but you don't understand how far it's come down because just a year ago, maybe 11 months ago, people were seeing 8%. The average about a year ago was 7.5, 7.6. So for it to be 6.25, and we've already talked in the past about how we have clients getting interest rates in the twos, in the threes, and in the fours right now. And there's different strategies we utilize and just take advantage. And I also filmed a video earlier today. I haven't put it out yet. I need to do some editing. I haven't done like a recorded video in forever. Need to do some editing talking about the different locations in our country and if it's a buyer's market or seller's market. So please be on the lookout for that later this week. And Bernique, tell us, how have you been? What are you seeing with these lower interest rates? I know I have people antsy right now. What are you seeing?
So I'm actually having people very antsy, and I have people just calling me in regards to relocating. I told Sir today it was weird. I thought I was being shopped by the real estate commission. I was like, what's going on? I was like, oh, we found you on this site. So that's, very exciting, but it's also, alarming to some, being that there's more competition coming into the market.
Mhm.
We've been here for weeks and weeks telling y'all it's now is the time to buy. Now is the time to buy. We weren't saying that just because we wanted a commission check.
And the beautiful thing is, like, we're here to educate and advise you. And yes, we would love for you to work with us, but it's not predicated on you working with us. We want you to have the information and you do with that information as you see fit, right? Only thing I can ask is that you do your due diligence and test and see what I'm telling you is true, right? Based on the facts that are where we are located. Now, different parts of the country, you have Florida with higher inventory, you have Texas with higher inventory. Um, those markets are a little different, especially when you look at the housing market, single family housing, and the condo market. The condo market in Florida is saturated. It is very much a buyer's market. You can pick and choose. Now, that is the case because of HOA fees with the condo and insurance cost. So once you attribute those two things, the purchase price has to come down in the Florida market. And then in Texas, unique thing about Texas is their property taxes are assessed much quicker with the new home value than most other places in our country. So here in the Carolinas, you typically have North Carolina, you have 8 years before your property is reassessed. Every 8 years it is.
Hmm.
In Texas, your home sells for, it was a $300,000 home 2 years ago. Well, it sold for 500,000. Well, right now it's being assessed at that $500,000 price point, and the taxes increased drastically. Whereas in the Carolinas, you would have had 6, 7 more years to still be at that lower tax rate, right? So different things are different for different people in different parts of the country. And the hottest parts of the country right now, Zillow puts out a heat index, is the Northeast, New York, not just the city. City's hot, but you have Rochester, New York, where I'm from. Danny, I see you're on there. Buffalo's up there as well, where it is just very hot. It is very much a seller's market. Boston, shout out to Real Estate with Danny. That's my brother right there. Um, so yeah, those are very hot markets. But here in the Carolinas, we have a neutral market in certain aspects, certain price points. Now, price points that are affordable. That's all relative. But around, I say 450 and below, it's not as much inventory. It's not as much inventory that you would hope. And if you're waiting, I don't want you to miss out on. Jocelyn, I have a question for you. You know what I'm about to ask, right? Ambernique?
What? No.
So I know you're in the Wendell, Zebulon area. That's where you're looking to buy. We have someone looking in the Raleigh area, right? In the Raleigh area, wants to be along 540 for new construction. As somebody that's in that area, what do you think would be the best spot along 540 in the Raleigh area that is relatively affordable? I know you're not a real estate agent, but I'm always getting input from everyone for that matter. Jocelyn has a question. If you are approved, offer accepted, how many days until you go to closing? Is it 30 or 45 days? It
Um.
matters. I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just about to say it depends
That's what
on,
it is.
yeah, what was negotiated in the offer. So you have to go back to the offer, take a look at it. And I would hope that your real estate professional went over this with you in detail to prepare you for when closing is going to be, because it can be as low as 21 days. It just depends on the offer that you guys submitted.
Most definitely. So that is always to answer my question, you said Wendell and Zebulon. Answer your question, just piggyback on Ambernique. It's in the offer. I was negotiating an offer last week where I was helping the seller, and the buyer wanted 60 days, 65 days, and we're like, no, that's not happening. We're not closing. We're not going under contract in September, and you want to close November 16th. That's not happening at all. So it is just however you want to put it in there to make it work for your schedule. Obviously, there's negotiations back and forth, so it's not entirely up to you, but that's something that should be concrete in the contract, because if it doesn't have a close date, I mean, it's a legally binding contract regardless, but it's kind of like, I don't know how you can really enforce it if it doesn't have a closing date on the contract. Um,
Or if I can add, if it's new construction that's still being built, it's to be determined, but they should give you an estimated completion date. And if they need to go past that time, they'll let you know.
yeah, and typically they give you a 2 month window. So like if it's going to be completed in October, they may say October, November, just to give themselves a buffer in case something is delayed or things that are outside of their control, whether it be the power, gas, different utilities. They usually create that buffer there for themselves. Um, Give me 1 second. I have a couple articles. Any other questions while I pull this up?
We did have another
Here we
question
go.
pop in
Huh.
by a newcomer. I've never seen Patrick. Hey, Patrick.
Go ahead, take it. Take it. Go take it away. I'll pull this up.
Let's see. How long do I need to own a home before selling to avoid capital gains tax? So it is 2 years, but I don't have, if you've ever heard of a 1031 exchange, you can do a 1031 exchange to buy another home and you don't have to pay any taxes unless that home is sold. But we can take it a step further by putting it into a trust to avoid a whole lot of things. But yeah.
No, so there's a lot of questions about 1031 exchange, and I something that I love that I love the creative side of it, and just following what the wealthy do, and that is what they use to defer taxes over and over and over again. Is they keep putting it into property, whether it be they go single family, put it into a multifamily, put it in commercial, or vice versa. Whatever they see is going to be the vehicle or driver of the return in the next whatever few years, they sell an asset and put it right back into another asset without paying taxes, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So great question, Patrick. And if you want to just let us know what your plans are, we can advise you a bit further.
Sorry, I'm not sure what just happened.
What's the
Let's go
article that
ahead.
you're looking at? What is it about?
Before going about the article, I want to talk about there's still another article, but it's something that I liked about it is this. Charlotte is becoming a major city again. One of my biggest hangups about Charlotte, make sure everybody can see this. Can you see the article on here where it says Charlotte takes big step forward on transit? Here's what the city council should do next. So if you're unfamiliar, we are here in the greater Charlotte area. Yes, we have team members throughout the Carolinas. We can help you up and down the East Coast. We have offices for Lifestyle, Georgia, Florida, New York, New Jersey. So wherever you want to go, we can help you. But Monique and I are here in the Carolinas. In Charlotte, one of the biggest things I was talking about, like just that could propel Charlotte forward, and we've been pretty lax on it, is the commuting system, whether it be the rail system or just some kind of high functioning transit system. Because what we have right now is pretty anemic. It just goes north and south and it doesn't connect the city. And now it has made steps and has gone further north and a little further south in the past, 5-6 years. I'll say 10 years, but it's not functional to where you have to, if you live in the Carolinas in the Charlotte area, you pretty much need a car, right?
Yeah.
um
Have you ever been on it? I haven't.
Drunkenly, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've been on it now. I've only been on it for a couple stops, like going from South End to Uptown or vice versa, but that's about it. Now, the city council voted to spend $91 million to buy the freight line railroad from Norfolk Southern. Now, this has been in the news in the back for about the last 6 months or so, and we've agreed to spend the money to buy it, to where we're going to change that transit line that goes through Huntersville and everything and use it for commuter rail, which I believe is a huge move forward. Real quick, Jocelyn says stay away from this zip code, Southeast Raleigh. It's a bit rough, but it's changing. Now, I'm with you. I'm familiar. However, if you are looking to buy and don't mind the changing, this or the gentrification and the changing is happening, this is where you should buy because it is the most affordable and you
Mhm.
can take advantage of all of the upswing, right? Because once it changes and rolls over, the people that live in those communities may not be able to afford it once that change occurs. So now is the time to get in that zip code. Max
Yeah.
8, thank you. Yep, it is changing.
And I'm glad that you said that because a lot of people are just like, I don't want to buy in this zip code. I don't want to buy in that zip code, because it's changing. But it's best to get in when the change is happening because once it's happened, you're priced out.
Yeah. To answer our question, best affordable cities in the triangle for single family or townhome new construction: Wendell, Zebulon, Fouquet, Verena, Wake Forest, Gardner, Angier. I do like Angier. Wake Forest, I just sold a house there, and it was, well, granted, this was a huge house. It was like 5,000 square feet because that was very expensive. That was a very expensive house. Gardner, I do like Gardner, but I think that'll be maybe a little further away
Mhm.
from the area that our client wants to be in. Max
I
B,
think.
what do you mean, North Carolina or South Carolina? Go ahead, Amber Dick. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I said I think Fuquay would work. I actually have a friend who's a new construction rep out there.
Which builder?
Was it Starlight?
Okay.
Starlight?
So I am so happy that you're familiar with this builder. Mungo Homes is coming to the Charlotte area.
Yes.
My goodness, I love Mungo. Like I actually talked to a few of their sales reps. I was going to say I want to get in touch with the CEO or the division president. I mean, they're here in what, Columbia, right? Um, so if anybody has any connections for me to be able to reach out to them, please let me know because they have a product that has been everywhere else in the Carolinas, even in Raleigh and Columbia and Charleston and all that area, but they skipped over Charlotte. They're finally coming to Charlotte. They're building over on the west side of Charlotte right now. I absolutely am very ecstatic about that because I believe if they do what they do in the other areas, they're going to bring a level of quality
Mhm.
for a particular price point and make the other builders raise their game up, step their game up. It's going to be one of two things. Either that's going to happen, or I hope this doesn't happen because I've seen their quality throughout North and South Carolina elsewhere. Or they're going to be like, well, we just can give them the bare minimum because that's what all the other builders are doing, and still pay and still give and still charge a premium. But based on what I've seen elsewhere throughout the Carolinas, I don't believe that will be the case.
Yeah, because I had clients like she didn't want to buy anywhere else but Mungo, so I doubt
Yeah.
if they'll drop the ball just coming into the market. I doubt they'll do that.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Um, Marlon Lewis, Wake Forest, Gardner, Nightdale. I forgot about Nightdale. I used to have a rental in Nightdale. Yes. Um, what cities surrounding Charlotte have similar growth prospects? This is hold on. Ebony, they teed it up for you. Marlon, thank you very much. Teed it up for you. Go ahead.
I
What
can't wait to
city
talk about
surrounding Charlotte has similar growth prospects? Come on.
Gaston County for one being Gastonia, Bessemer City.
Yes.
What else? Stanley.
Stanley. Yeah. Yeah.
You were surprised when I told you today that the small town that I moved to, Bessemer City, has ranch style homes at 500,000.
I was shocked. I'm like, why? But then you laid it out, and I'm like,
It's growing.
okay, yeah,
So
no,
yeah, so I'm going to be boots on the ground this week. So if I call anybody, because I've been calling y'all haven't been answering me. I see a few people I'm gonna call out. If y'all hear me out of breath, because I'm walking, because I need to be door knocking, telling these people, listen, you live here, buy here before you can't afford to buy here in a few years.
No, that is real. That is real. Um, you don't want to you don't want to be renting in an area and pay somebody else's mortgage and see that area take off and you not be able to capitalize on any of that appreciation or equity. Like that's not a good look at all. Um, and what we're also seeing is something that I've been saying for a while here, where Marlon, hold on. You said you're dropping some gems. Very nice. Actually, I like your profile picture, Marlon. I like that.
You're not like
Down up
that.
there. Okay. Now, so Gaston County, in addition to that, what I would add is I like Albemarle. It depends on your commute, right? Commute and how far you want to be outside. Gaston County is closer, I believe, right? Albemarle. And I had a client buy a couple properties in Salisbury recently. And the pricing, while it is going up, it's still in the low threes right now. Before she bought them when they were in the twos in the greater Charlotte area, brand new construction with all the warranties and everything. So
I like those areas too. I
yeah,
just feel like they're growing at a slower rate.
most
And
definitely.
Gastonia, well, excuse me, Gaston County, if you ask me,
Yeah.
is right there trailing with Mecklenburg.
So I'll give you that 100%. Gaston County is growing much faster than Albemarle, Salisbury. Salisbury is going to take a little while because it's a little further out, right? You still got to get to Concord, still needs to finish growing. You got Kannapolis, which I really like. But I see your Gaston County and I give you York, South Carolina. York, South Carolina.
Gaston County, and I go back to Gaston County.
Reason why I like York. So again, I know I've talked about this. People that have been watching may have heard me say this. York, I see the permits being pulled. Right, what's happening in commercially and residentially, and York, South Carolina, not just York County, but York, South Carolina has the most permits right now. So for single family homes, if you think about it, you have every builder there, with the exception of Mattamy. That I can't think of Mattamy right now. But you have
Am-
every other builder there.
Is MI Homes there too?
They were. They finished up hold on. We have Century, we have Meritage, we have DR Horton, we have True Homes,
Lennar.
Lennar.
Yeah,
We
MI.
have Dream Finders over there. They're building the community over there. I can't think of I'm not sure about MI or Mattamy.
Yeah,
Yes,
I don't think they're
York
there.
York has cheap gas. Well, all of South Carolina. As soon as you cross over that border, your gas is going to come down at least what I'll say. Let me be conservative. At least 30 cents on a gallon, maybe more, depending on where you're at. Right. Um. So I'm waiting for some guests to pop in the backstage. Can you check on that, Ambernique?
Yes, I will. But also to speak to it, if anybody here, what Gaston County is missing is a bomb bobber, hairstylist, nail tech, and y'all know I love to go out. No, no. But
Y'all hear this, right?
it's missing that nightlife. So I feel like somebody comes through. I don't care for the club, but I like a nice bar lounge type
Lounge.
deal.
Yeah.
It's really missing that. Like I'm telling you, y'all see me all the time. Next year,
And I was
not
gonna say because now I was gonna say because
not for the
hold
next.
on, time out, time out, time out. I don't know the answer to this question, so I'm asking you on the spot. Did you go out Friday? That is a yes. Oh my
No,
goodness.
no, no. I did not go out Friday, but I did plan to. And
Okay.
then
I knew,
Saturday,
I knew
I
the
was
planning
gonna.
was taking place.
And then Saturday, I wasn't gonna go out too, but the Lord made it so that I didn't get dressed until like 12:20, and I was just like, I'm not supposed to be doing this anyway.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure because we do have an event. When do we have an event? We have an event the 18th, right? A
Yeah.
work event. So that's your excuse to go out.
No, I'll be working. So I won't count that as going out. So yeah.
Kendra, you said Gastonia off the list. No, 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 no. Gastonia needs to be on the list.
Now, Kendra, what's wrong with Gastonia?
So full disclosure, I used to practice law, right? And I had an office, one in South Charlotte or Charlotte, and then one in Gaston County in Gastonia. And I hated Gastonia, mainly because of the DA and all that stuff. But it was so backwards, and this was what, maybe my daughter's 10, so about 10 years ago. I got called the N word around holiday season in Best Buy in Gaston County in Gastonia. Now that was my experience, right? But since then, I would definitely say that it has changed. It has become more diverse. I have a couple clients out there that absolutely love. And what's the Eastwood Homes Winter Lake community? I absolutely love Gaston County, and it does have. I mean, you're right there to Charlotte. You have about 10, 15 minutes from Charlotte, depending on what part of Charlotte you're trying to get to. Um, so you could off the list because there's no
No,
tech or hairstylist.
I saw her. So there are, but I just like a certain level. So there are barbers there. There are hairstylists. There are nail techs. But I see a lot of those people in those professions that are really popping that does not have a ton of business. So to add on to their business, they're missing, because I said a bomb nail tech, a bomb barber, and things like that. So yeah.
What year are you in that you're saying bomb? Like like where are you? Can you come back to 2024?
You don't say bomb? Dope?
Um,
What do you want
mm,
me to say?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
You was
I'm not
born in
sure.
the 70s. I was born in the 90s.
Um,
What are you
wait.
saying? Seriously.
Okay, you did not go out. We're getting confirmation you didn't go out. Great job on the discipline. Look, she told us she
Yeah.
wasn't going out, right? Let's not give her credit for her doing what she said she was going to do, right?
I fought the temptation because I like a little ratchet. And my girl Glow came out with a new song while I was on my way home Friday, and I was like,
Here
whoo.
we go. Here we go. All right, real quick. I see we have Sahad in the background. Let me introduce her to the stage, and then I want to touch on one article. I know we're waiting on one more person. What's going on, Sahad? How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Doing well, doing well. Can you introduce yourself for those watching, and then I want to ask
Sure.
your opinion regarding an article.
Okay. My name is Sahad Washington. I'm a VP of Mortgage Lending at Rate Mortgage.
Perfect. 1 second. Present. Trying to see which one it is. Okay. So this article is saying more home sellers are withdrawing listings. Now, if you remember, this came out just earlier today. It is the 9th. If you remember, a couple of weeks ago, I said I wasn't sure if all of these homes on the market are actually for sale, because you had these people have their homes on the market and did not reduce their price at all. Typically, if your home's on the market you give it a week, maybe two, you gauge it and evaluate. Like, hey, if it's not selling, it's not gaining interest at this price, let's rework it. Maybe we need to go at it a different way, and lower the price is a typical strategy. Well, a lot of homes that I saw in the Charlotte area, they were not doing any price reductions, right? So because they weren't doing any price reductions, I took it as these people can't be serious. They're not real sellers. They are wishful sellers, and if they don't get their price, they're just going to pull it off the market. And what we're seeing is now the home buying season is coming to an end. Not technically, but typically, once the school year starts, that's when the home buying season really starts coming down or falling off, because anybody that was going to move to school for school and for the convenience would do so before the school starts, because they don't want to disrupt their children. And what we're seeing right now is new homes coming to the market is flattening off. New listings has peaked for the year. So what that means is use this time wisely as a buyer. Excuse me. Use it wisely because you have the most inventory you're going to have. And right now, everybody and their mother hasn't swarmed to the housing market to take advantage of these lower interest rates because, like I said, we just got a new 52-week low. And if it goes down any further, more people are going to come to the market. And if inventory has peaked, that means more people is going to be going after less inventory, thus bringing about price increases, which I'm sure everybody's trying to avoid. That's why we wanted lower interest rates to make houses more affordable. So this is, again, I tell everyone to don't listen to me if you don't want to, but I'm just giving you the data, the numbers. Ambernique and she makes me more relatable, right? She makes me more relatable and more human. But we just want to give you and advise what's happening because we see it before it's actually published. Because once it's published and the world knows about it, you have no more. I'm not saying you don't have an advantage, but you don't have as much of an advantage. You want to act when everybody else thinks things are going one way. And it's our job to present this data to you immediately. Greetings. Hello, Barbara. Sahad, what do you say? Are you seeing anything with you work with various real estate agents? Is it becoming more competitive?
So I would say in different markets, there's been a shift. So here in the Carolinas, we are still pretty steady as far as the prices of homes are not coming down.
Yeah.
Contrary to what people may think, because we're such a sought out area, I have not seen the purchase prices of homes coming down, especially on resale, not new construction. I have seen that sellers whose houses are sitting a little longer are more willing to negotiate with their concessions and be open to conversations, whereas a little while ago they were just like, nah, the price is the price. So I think that's what's going on here in the Carolinas for the time being. Also, with interest rates going down every week, I have seen an influx of pre-approvals, people trying to buy.
Yeah.
And sell and then buy, because now they're ready to sell their home because the interest rates are not sky high. So that's what I've been seeing over the last 30 days.
I've been seeing that as well. Actually, I have a meeting tomorrow with a client who is going to be selling their house. They're sitting on the sideline waiting for it to make sense for them to sell their home, because that delta between the payment for a 3%, 4% interest rate and a 7% was too wide, right? But now at 6%, and then we get seller concessions on that end, and we in the 5s. The difference between the payment in the 4s and the 5s is doable, right? And they're able to take that equity and put it toward that house and utilize it. So that is what I'm seeing. People are coming off the sideline. Another thing I'm seeing is the higher priced home. You will start seeing numbers being skewed regarding price decreases, because the really motivated sellers in the high price homes will take drastic price cuts. I mean, they have the equity to do so, right? So they're willing to take those, and those drastic price cuts of 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, it's going to skew the numbers to where you may hear, 15% price cut, but it's not in your price point that you're looking to buy. It's in that $1.3 million home, right? To where, of course, they did that because they bought it for $700,000 5 years ago, right? So that's the difference you see. And real quick, let's pivot. I know we don't have our guests just yet in the background, but let's pivot toward housing discrimination. And big pivot, right? But reason why I want to pivot to housing discrimination is because as we go to this market with lower interest rates, right, and more people coming into the market, we need to be aware of what we're up against, not just financially and in the housing market, but we're dealing with humans, right? So these are just realistic circumstances, unfortunately, that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, and housing discrimination never went anywhere. However, the new NAR rules are making it, I don't know, easier. I can say easier to discriminate without having to really say anything about it, without even really having to acknowledge it. It's allowing for backroom deals to take place. And yeah, this is just allowing for a lot of backroom deals to take place between, you don't want to, you hope this isn't the case, but again, it's just the reality, between certain ethnic groups, certain cultural groups, to where they want to keep certain people outside of a community or not allow them in that community. It's very easy to do so because there's not as much transparency with these new NAR rules.
No, there isn't. And I don't think that I've seen anything that has come out that clearly states the specifics, like across the board.
Yeah.
So what the settlement did as far as real estate agents, that's your side. I'll let you explain that all day long. On my side, from the lender, what it has done, it has impacted groups of people that a lot of them are first-time home buyers, where they do not have set aside a lot of money to pay a separate cost for hiring a real estate professional on the front end. And that in itself is unfair, because as a first-time home buyer, you have federal programs, county programs, state programs, in-house programs that are designed to assist first-time buyers, that are designed to help low to moderate income and even middle class. And now this requirement that they will have to pay their buyer's agent out of their own pocket makes homeownership more difficult than it was before for all of these groups. The largest groups that are going to be impacted are Black and brown communities, and also foreigners, or those who have recently come here to this country. Now, we know that the divide in the wealth gap is almost 40% between non-ethnic groups and ethnic groups, with Black people being all the way at the bottom of the ladder, and then white non-Hispanic groups being all the way at the top. So that in itself, saying that a buyer is now responsible to compensate the real estate agent, they already didn't have that money to start, because they just got through, we credit qualify, we income qualify, and we have our assets or our savings to cover our closing costs. Right?
Now, real quick, let me push back a little bit, right? Because I'm always the devil's advocate. On the flip side, we're going to say, people are going to say, well, at least in the Carolinas, the buyer was always responsible for those commissions. So what are you talking about? The buyer always had to come up with those funds.
And it's the same in other areas, like Pennsylvania has a similar agreement where they're able to add on buyer's agency agreements. But the norm for what I see as a lender is I have never had to explain to a buyer, okay, now I have aligned you with what you're qualified for, what you can afford each month. Now I've aligned you with what your closing costs are going to look like. But here comes this additional expense that you are required to pay out of pocket if the seller of the property that you select does not want to pay your real estate agent. Now, and I am strictly speaking from the lender side. I have plenty of respect for real estate agents and what y'all do. I am not here to fight about what you're compensated on. I am here to express the frustration that how one ruling has created what we call in mortgage world disparate impact, where the intent was not to discriminate or to hurt a specific group. However, it is hurting a specific group. And it's not just Black and brown people. Home ownership in general across this country in any metropolitan city is wildly unaffordable for those people that have already lived there for their entire life or have been there for the last 10 years. The cost of living has risen dramatically. The cost of housing has multiplied, but yet their income has not. So to put something in effect to penalize real estate agents, but ultimately the groups that you're hurting are our first-time home buyers and those that are already wildly disadvantaged for the homeownership process, whether it's their first time or they haven't done it in a long time. And it's incredibly infuriating to me because it's not fair. You're hurting an entire group, not you guys, but it is impacting an entire group of buyers that had this not came down, they just got through credit, income, assets, and they're finally pre-approved. And you're telling me that now we need a couple extra $1,000 because you're not going to pay the seller side is no longer going to pay the real estate agent, but they need the real estate agent. And then if you let me keep going, because I'm really upset about this. Furthermore, right? You now have listing agents, okay? It's hard for real estate agents to make their career. We only list homes. We no longer represent buyers. We list homes, okay? You now have real estate agents that are in control of saying, we're not going to pay the buyer's agent. But we know that when a real estate agent represents both sides of the transactions, as much as we want to say that everyone is ethical, right? I don't believe that you can represent two parties.
No,
I don't believe
you can't serve two masters.
Both sides. No, you can't serve two masters.
No.
So
That's why.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that's why I strongly believe that the way that things are going right now is either going to lead to another lawsuit or things are going to change really quickly.
And what I'm saying is, just like you just said, where you have somebody listing a property controlling everything, right? So let's say I list a property, hypothetical. I list a property, right? And your clients want to go in and look at the property. Black couple, right? Want to go in and look at the property. And you ask me, hey, are you offering buyer's agent commission? And I'm like, nope, not happening. However, Ambernique comes in, same day, shows some clients, and again, I can see who goes in and the names and all that stuff, right? So he goes in, asks, hey, are y'all offering buyer's agent commission? And I see that she's representing an Indian couple. I'm like, of course, yes, we are, right? It's one of those things to where there's no checks and balances to where I can purposefully try to keep this person out by saying, Sahad, we're not offering any commissions for you because of your clients who you're representing and trying to bring into this community. We're not going to make it easy. But Ambernique, most definitely we'll give you buyer's agent commission. Bring your offer in. I'll make it as easy as possible for your clients to come partake and enjoy this community, right? And there's no checks and balances to say, oh, this person, like, until it's over with and closed. Actually, even when it's over with and closed, Saad, you're never going to know that I paid Ambernique, unless you saw the HUD or Alta, a seller agent commission. Nobody's going to know that. You're going to think, oh, well, the buyer paid for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm thinking, like, again, just the back end stuff that allows for the discrimination to happen without it being checked at all. And if I just have in my office, right? If I'm under these new rules in my office, I'm like, hey, I'm offering buyer agent commission if you all bring me a buyer. But for anybody else, any other real estate firm or anything like that, nope, we're not offering any buyer agents commission. Not happening. Right? So it's just one of those things that is very touchy and tricky, and there's no way to really regulate it.
It's infuriating. It's infuriating to me, as being a lender for over a decade in 8 different states, all up and down the East Coast, and dealing with all different types of clients. Mm-hmm. I have seen in situations where I have two pre-approved qualified couples that put an offer in on the same house. This is before NAR. One gets one response, the other gets another response. The listing agent calls to verify, have I done my due diligence as the lender for one couple, but doesn't call to ask about the other couple. And compliance tells me that I cannot share or disclose, but I know that it's going on.
Yeah.
I know that it's going on based on maybe how their name was spelled, because they don't see the mortgage application or the 1003. They see a pre-approval letter, right? A qualified buyer is a qualified buyer, the end. But this has been going on for a long time, and this settlement has made it easier for those who don't play by the rules and who do not advocate for clients. It has made it easier for them to manipulate the system. And then also another thing that is incredibly infuriating is that on the lending side, right? However I structure the deal is how I structure the deal for that particular family. If it's going to close, it's going to close, right? I do not have any control when I see a signed agreement come over for a buyer and they have agreed to compensation to their real estate agent. They've signed off on it and they've agreed to it. Mm-hmm. So my ethical brain, because I work for clients, I don't work for real estate agents. I know a lot of people think that we're hand in hand, but that's not how it works. We both support you as the client separately. I work for no realtors or real estate agents. My ethical brain always reviews it with the client. Hey, I'm going to go over your contract with you again. I know your real estate agent has already done that. And I cannot tell you how many times they have agreed to something without understanding what they have just signed. Yeah. I'm not a real estate agent. I can't come and crack down on the person that is a partner with me in this transaction, because it's not my job to say you are ripping off the client, which is another reason why I'm particular about what real estate agents I work with and refer clients to. But that's a different story. But once it's agreed to and it's in the contract, right, and the client has agreed to pay it, I compliantly cannot come back when I've identified the client doesn't even know what they just signed. I might not know the real estate agent from a can of paint, but the client has decided to work with me, and now I'm re-explaining a contract that is not in their best interest. Now what? Or I have a listing agent, because the listing agent and the buyer's agent know each other, okay? They have made some type of agreement that may not be in the best interest of my buyer. Now what?
Now, we're talking about discrimination in this sense. One, before I go on, we're getting baby preach, because this has happened to me from Jenny. Thank you, Jenny.
And then I also want to add, Sahad, based on, remember we were out and we had a conversation with a guy. He was African. And what he does on his applications, he does not put his nationality. He puts other. That also does not help at all. You always want to put what you are and who you are truthfully, because it's no way to track discrimination if you're putting other.
Yes.
So that's something, that you should start to look into, putting exactly what it is so that it can be better tracked, so that we can continue the good fight with you as well.
Yes. HMDA information, race, ethnicity, and how you identify. Don't leave that section blank, because audits don't happen in the middle of your transaction. They don't happen sometimes right away after you close. They may not happen until 6 months down the line or a year down the line. In some of these big banks, I'm just going to say it, 15 years ago, I worked for Wells Fargo. I still get a check from Wells Fargo from time to time for all of the things as an employee I was discriminated against and didn't even know it. I look forward to my check every year because it comes like clockwork. But I'm just saying, if I had not provided that data when it eventually did hit the fan, there's no way to tell if you were involved in this based on your profile if you didn't fill it out.
We have a question. So Sahad, in that instance, can you take out what doesn't work for the buyer, or do you have to start from scratch?
No, I can have a conversation with the real estate professional and ask them about it. I recently, in neither, this is none of your transactions or no one that even works in your office, but I recently had a buyer's agent that was getting paid an additional commission on top of the commission. And I asked him what it was for. He said, "Oh, well, it's just a bonus." And I said, "For what?" And we had a very transparent conversation. I said, "Well, they can't afford to pay you a bonus, so take it off of your contract." And that's just me being a bully. But you couldn't justify why you were getting a bonus.
That's that Philly in you, that Broad Street bully.
But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were paying you an extra commission because it was their first time. They thought you were entitled to a bonus. Not on my watch. So we can have a conversation about it and hope that the real estate agent is ethical and willing to have the conversation, or I can prompt the client, hey, go back to your real estate agent and ask them about it, because I can't really speak to anything that you've already agreed upon. In most cases,
the thing. In your question, you said, Ken, you said start from scratch. Because it's already a contract, it's almost, I'm gonna say, impossible to start from scratch. Like, you can try to renegotiate, work things in, but barring, again, depending on where you are in the country, if you back out in North Carolina, they're going to lose that due diligence money no matter what, and they may possibly lose that the earnest money deposit, depending on where in the transaction time frame we're in. So yes, you can technically start from scratch, but you're going to be losing a couple $100 to a few $1,000s at a minimum if you do start from scratch.
And so, to circle back to what Sahad said in regard to the bonus, because this would have been on your buyer agency agreement, this is why it's very important to interview the agent that you're working with. You want to do a deep dive. Just because, somebody advises that they sell properties, that does not mean that they're ethical. Do fact check. Get testimonials from past clients. Do your research on who you work with, because who you work with matters. And making sure that, because I have clients that will just say, "I trust you, just sign it." And I'm like, "No, we're going to hop on a call and we're going to go over it line by line, just so that they know, yes, you trust me and I love it. Thank you. But I want to make sure that you're educated throughout the entire process." So who you work with matters.
It definitely matters. Real quick, thank you all that are watching, that are rocking with us, leaving comments. I definitely appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave it in the chat. And again, be sure to like this video, share it with others, even the replay. And I know we're talking about buying right now, but I pulled up an article when you were speaking, Sahad, because discrimination also takes place when you go to refinance as well.
Yes.
Because refinancing is you saw it right here. Mortgage refinance demand is 94% higher than a year ago as interest rates fall again. This article is from September 4th. So I can speak to my own personal experience. I had to have a house appraised, and it had pictures of me and my family in the house. And the house should have appraised for, I would say, $50,000 to $60,000 more than it did, and only but for the pictures and who they saw living in the house did it not appraise for that price. Because a house down the street, smaller, didn't have a basement, just a smaller home, appraised for more than mine. And now, granted, I understand finishes and all that, yard, all that takes into consideration. All that being equal, now I will say they did have better flooring. They had better flooring. But other than that, there's absolutely no way that home, a smaller home, less bedrooms, smaller lot, less bathrooms, appraised for more than mine. Right? So please be aware that discrimination also takes place amongst appraisers, and not that we should have to go through these lengths, but before you get that home appraised, remove all pictures. Remove anything highlighting that who you are in the house, unfortunately. What culture you partake in or part of. Because appraisal bias is real, unfortunately. I experienced it myself. You're gonna say something, Sahad? I'm sorry.
I was gonna say that the appraisal bias is so bad, okay, that within each lender, and one of the reasons why I picked this lender is because we have a fair lending executive director, and part of her job is when things happen that don't look right, you make a case for it, you report it. I have fought so hard with appraisal bias for comps, for asking for information. I do tell my clients that are that are Black or different minorities, unblack your house. And I say it. I know I'm not allowed to
Not
say
just
it.
unblack it, but like unreligion it, on everything it, right?
Take it down
Yeah.
because it is so real. And why? Because appraisers, then if you look at the National Appraiser Network, just like real estate, there are so few appraisers that are actually Black, brown, Asian, Indian, whatever. It is a predominantly white industry and has been for decades and decades and decades. So with no diversity, no representation amongst the workforce, you have people that are appraising with biases, unconscious biases. I'm not saying they're racist. I'm just saying that unconscious bias does exist. So when you have no representation in that workforce, of course, you are going to have impact to the other groups that are not part of that demographic.
Yeah.
So when appraisal bias does happen, you can report it. It is up to the lender to identify it and report it because we see it first. Now, maybe to some other lenders, it's not something that's important. The appraisals are the appraisals. However, as a woman, I identify as a Black woman. Oh, I'm watching for appraisal bias. Try me because I'm writing up the report. I'm pulling the comps and I'm going to need you to justify why it is this way. And they have a certain time period where they have to respond by law. But if we're not fighting it, then how are they going to change something if no one is reporting it? Well, like you guys as agents, you are 6% of all real estate agents in the country. Black and brown people are 6%.
I was going to say, and appraisers are what, 2%?
Less than that.
Less than 2. I was going to say, like, I mean, I didn't want to get my numbers completely off, but Morris Senior, isn't he an appraiser? He was the first Black appraiser in South Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah. So we had the pleasure of knowing, and he came to Charlotte a month and a half ago, right? We have just living history amongst us, sharing information and knowledge with us. The first Black appraiser in South Carolina. Like, it was just amazing that we think we've come so far, which we have, right? But the history is not that far away. Like, I mean, we're talking 30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, but still.
But currently, isn't it that there's no Black owned companies right now in South Carolina, or is it just one? But didn't they close down a Black owned appraising company?
Morris is a Black owned appraisal.
Morris is.
Okay, so just the one.
He's the only one that I know of.
Yeah. That's wild. So anybody on here, if you're looking to be an appraiser.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is
a real estate agent that's an appraiser with lifestyle. That's an appraiser as well. So again, we have the resources right at our fingertips, but again, it's we take it for granted because we're in a bubble that we think these things are just common, but it's not, right? It's not common at all. Ambernique, are we getting anybody else coming on?
Did you call Sahad?
That is
It is our client together. I did text. Can you reach out? Thank you.
I'm about to put you in
I
the
can,
background, Sahad.
I can send a text, but I do think that you guys are on a roll with this discrimination conversation, and we can cover that topic. It would have been great to have them here. However, it's private, and maybe they don't want to come on camera.
Oh.
Totally understand that.
Yeah.
So what we were alluding to, what we're talking about in the background is we've talked about appraisal in the terms of, colorism and everything like that. But this y'all's client. So who wants to share the discrimination that took place with your client and how just thankful and grateful they were to you all for helping and assisting throughout this process?
So I'll start. We had a first-time home buyer that is a religious faith leader, and that I met at one of the many events that I go and speak at. And I could not think of anyone better for them to work with than
Humble
Amber.
brag. Humble brag. One of the many events that I speak at.
Many. Atlanta, I will see you this week. But
Yeah.
Amber was a phenomenal real estate agent. I don't think that I could have referred them to anyone that was better, because I know how great she is at her job. And as we were going through this process, listen, sir, I think you're great, but I know the temperament. Like, it was
better,
it was the vibes, and I just know that it was going to be a big sister.
That's my Ambernique is an extension of me, so it's all love. It's all love.
Oh, I'm Sir Junior.
I didn't say all that. I said extension. Extension. You're my sister. You're my sister.
There was a lot going on. So this was my first time working with no, it wasn't my first time, but what I will say is this was my first time working with a faith leader that also identifies as LGBTQ. I hope I got all of them. And this is a same-sex couple that are purchasing here in the Bible Belt. And I don't think that we were able to prepare ourselves for a lot of the things that they shared with us. Now, I was not aware myself of how much same-sex couples are discriminated against in the mortgage process. And shame on me, because I should have just expected that, because I know of all the other discrimination that exists. But they really brought it to light that they had tried this multiple times and didn't feel comfortable, didn't receive a call back. They felt like the real estate agents that they had previously tried to work with did not advocate for them. And it was upsetting to know what they had gone through, and they could have been homeowners a long time ago had someone treated them with the respect that they deserve. Yeah. And
I'm over here putting Sahad's contact information in the chat. So I'm over here taking it from some emails of yours, Sahad. So bear with me.
So just to piggyback on what Sahad said, I believe Sahad, I was the fourth realtor that they got in contact with. And, we had a really long talk after closing. They were just like, we're happy. They never felt like I treated them anyway. I was just there in shock, because I'm just like, I treat everybody the same. I don't care skin color, sex orientation. Like, I'm just like, we feel like everybody deserves to be homeowners and to be treated, equally. I'm gonna fight for everybody. We feel like we're family.
She will fight for you. That's one thing I love about Ambernique. She is loyal. She will go to bat for you, and then afterwards she'll let you know you were wrong, but I got your back, right? But she won't say it while she's fighting for you, but in the background she'll let you know.
And we experienced it a lot in this transaction. The most that I ever had in my real estate career, from I don't know if the listing agent only wanted to offer a certain amount for commission.
Mhm.
I had to fight them for seller concession, which I won both battles. And I had him at the end apologizing, saying, "Oh, I see that you're seasoned. You know what you're doing." Yes. So that shouldn't have happened when we were at closing. Um,
You're
the
telling
attorney
me.
office that we chose, the
Yeah.
attorney office that we chose, it was, no one like us, nobody black or brown. It was six of us at a table. It was the notary. She then talked to the attorney at the end to tell me something that I needed to sign. She walked around the table and she said, "Have her sign here," like I was not even there. So discrimination is very real, and who you work with matters. So, and we do have something special for everybody out there. We don't care your color, your sex, your race. We care about none of that. We care about you as a person. We don't see color, we don't see sexual gender, any of that. And we didn't know that was something that was really going on. So we have something for,
Now,
the
you just
LGBT.
said
What's up?
we see it. We see it. We're not blind, right? We acknowledge it. We understand it, but that's not going to deter us or prohibit us from making sure you get the best service and are be put in the best position possible. Now, I know what you meant by saying we don't see it. I feel like that is a cop out from people that aren't minorities or aren't part of that demographic saying we don't see. No, you damn sure see that I'm a black man. What do you mean you don't see it, right? No, I want you to see it and understand who I am and still advocate for me as if I am your brother or sister.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Now I am a super advocate. Y'all know this, and anybody who's seen me on here knows this. There was a moment where I had to take my professional self and like clutch my pearls because this attorney walked past Amberny, did not make eye contact with her, and told the assistant that was training, "You need to show her how to do this and fill it out right here," and pointed on the paper as if she wasn't in the room. And, we at the table, everyone was black. I know we all picked up on it, but on the inside, my blood was boiling because I had suspected those microaggressions via email when we were trying to communicate throughout the process. And you always have to remember to stay professional. But it was infuriating to me that we're at the top of our game. We didn't miss our closing date. We're here on time. All of our stuff was ready. And you treat us as if the professionals in the room, you're treating us as if we did not bring business to your office. Okay? So when we got out of there, I think we all had a nice little woosah. I had a rant.
You ran.
Oh,
I didn't.
I had to stay calm for the both of us. She was surprised. She was just like, "You are calm." I'm just like, sometimes
I didn't get a call right then and there. I didn't get a call right then and there from y'all too.
It was really upsetting. And we see it on the lending side. A lot of times clients don't see me until they see my email signature, or like if listing agents and people call and I answer the phone and I'm, "Hello, Sahad speaking." They don't know who they're talking to until they see the picture. And for years, I took my picture off so that they didn't know who they were speaking to. And as soon as they would see my photo, they're like, "Oh, you look different." I look black.
So I'm about to take Ambernique's story from her. So business. I do a lot of ads, right? I run ads and get a lot of clientele and stuff like that. Well, I give them to my sister. Like my sister works with them and does what she does. And we had a client lined up ready to go. He was amped about being a homeowner. As soon as he saw Ambernique's email and her black skin, it went from "I'm ready to work with you" to "I don't think you could get a hold of him anymore." That was
he texted me. He texted me. So I sent the email. I remember it because I was just like, "What? I can't curse on here, right?" No.
I curse, so go for it.
So I sent the email at 1:40, 141, the text came, I'm sorry, I can't work with you. So I'm just like, you can't work with me? I'm like, what happened? You know, we were good. We were set for 4 o'clock. And I was just like, wait a minute, this can only be one thing. So me being me, I'm still trying to be professional. I'm just like, okay, I wish you all the best in your journey. I look to improve my business, you know, all the time. Could you tell me the reasoning on why you choose not to work with me? Crickets. So I'm just like, okay. At that point, I knew what it was. It was my skin tone. Because if y'all heard me on the phone, you don't know who you're talking to. I turned
It's
into
only when
Amber.
you start getting there talking about food or whatnot, do you start hearing the Geechee come out, talking about seafood and all that stuff. Other than that, I might have to step outside my office sometimes. I'm like, who's out there? And it's Amber Neat because
But
you know who's talking.
but you know what? I just look at it like that's his loss. He lost the best around.
Yeah, he did.
Definitely his loss. Definitely his loss. Brother David, what's going on? Yeah, definitely got to catch the replay. We talked about mortgage rates heading down and what that means for the housing market and how to navigate it. But we also talked about discrimination in various forms in the housing market and the housing industry and how we need to combat it. And some of it we gave answers, and other ones there's really no real answer right now, presently, other than being aware of it and shining light on it.
There's a
Just be cautious
question.
of who you deal with. And I have everybody that wants to hide information. It is in the chat. I actually put it up several times to pop up on the screen as well. Sahad Washington with Guaranteed Rate. That is her email and her phone number. Now, I just took it from your email, Sahad. So don't be mad about that number. I know it's not the office number, but I wanted them to get you directly. It was from your email.
That's fine. That is my personal cell phone number, and you are all fine to text it and call it. That's fine.
What's your office hours?
Right here.
No, office out. Just doesn't matter the time. I was gonna
8
say
a.m.
9 to 5.
No, because
9 to 5.
from California, it's 7 o'clock their time, and they're off work, and it's 10 o'clock our time. So it means if I'm free, I'm answering the phone.
I get it. No, thank you for sharing that. I know right after that closing, I don't know how right after, on your way back to the Charlotte area, I got a call and you all discussed it with me and shared that with me. And it was one of those things that, yes, I just believe more people need to be made aware of actually what happens behind the scenes sometimes regarding some of these transactions, unfortunately. And yes, it is unfortunate, but it is the truth. And the more we can just shine light on it, we can push it away, right? And hopefully you don't have to deal with it as much or at all. But these are some of the challenges we deal with in this housing market and just in business in general, in life. Any questions, final questions, any final comments that you all have?
Oh, there is one from Allie.
Allie, hold on. Oh, here we go. I didn't scroll down. On that last closing example, are there options for switching attorneys you might close with to avoid that type of treatment? So I'll answer first.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go for it.
Oh, no, I was just going to say what we are going to be doing in areas that there are not favorable attorneys. We will have a mobile notary, so where the closing is intimate at the home that we're closing on.
Yeah. So in that example, yes, we could have switched attorneys technically. However, the goal is to put our clients in the best position possible, right? And they needed to close on that house. And switching the attorney, even though they weren't, who we would have liked to deal with, would have probably caused a delay and not put our clients in the best position possible, right? So again, while yes, we could have done that, our goal is not to repair our pride or our ego in the moment. It is to look out in best interest of our clients and what's best for them. So if that means I have to experience some discomfort or some unprofessionalism or some unfortunately discrimination, then I will do that so long as the ball is being moved forward for my client. And that's part of the reason where I come on here and I can't get Ambernique's laugh out of my head. Part of the reason why I come on here with my hat and my t-shirt on, because I want people to realize who they're dealing with. I don't want any confusion, any discrepancy of, no, this is me. Am I professional? Most definitely. But I'm going to be authentically me. I'm not going to put you in a bad light. And however, earlier, right before this started, while we're trying to work on the audio, Ambernique brought this picture.
Are you going to show the picture?
I don't have the picture. You want to show it? You want to sit? Well, it's on Facebook, isn't it? Hold on. I can pull it up. I can pull it up.
Please
Go
don't
ahead
make
and
me.
talk about the picture.
So, sir used to look like Carl Winslow.
Here you go. Here you go.
Y'all, why did I say that? Because listen, I was in real life tears earlier. Like tears.
So this picture had to be taken at least.
What you're talking about?
Make sure you show the right.
At least what 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. Hold on.
Show the right.
I know.
No, y'all need to stop laughing so hard. Hold on. I gotta log into Facebook on this computer. Sorry. It's not that funny.
Wait a second. Wait, is that the one where the? Oh yeah, that's before he let that hair go. Yes. Yes.
You see, I wanna curse at y'all right now. But we have at least several people online right now. But hold on, sir.
He said Officer Winslow. Y'all, so hard. Don't do my brother like this.
Y'all ain't shit.
As soon as you said that, I was like, it's gonna be the picture where his hairline was right here.
No, you know what, sir? You tell him the glow up.
Hold on. That's not even it though. Hold on, that's not it. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to go back to that page. I'm on that YouTube. I'm on that Facebook page right now, and I'm trying to find that article.
November 20th, 2018.
2018. Okay, so it wasn't that long ago. Here we go. That hairline was looking crispy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Crispy.
Here we go. Here we go.
What do you call this in football? What do you call this?
Yeah. So this is to let you know.
That's the picture. That's the picture that we're talking about.
I've been doing this for quite some time. I buy houses. I'm an investor as well, and they found an old Facebook page of mine, and Ambernique came in my office literally. What? It was 7:05 because we were trying.
I was on the floor. I was on the floor, crying, y'all. I had to get myself together. I cried real life tears because
I hadn't heard her.
Can we get a picture of Carl Winslow as a side by side?
Carl Winslow.
You know, did I do that?
Dad?
No, Emily, I'm about to text you another one.
Oh my god!
Look. This is when he still had the Steve Harvey suits. Oh. It was about.
Y'all are no good. It'd be your own people talking about y'all.
I'm so sorry.
No, bro, listen. It's the glow up of the century. I swear. That's right.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. They don't look alike.
Yes,
I mean, the circumference is definitely.
The circumference. All right. Hairline at the 50-yard line. Oh my goodness. Oh Jesus.
Oh my God.
Oh, thank you, Jenny. Let's not clown, sir. New Jones, come on, brother. We
Oh,
tighter than that. We are tighter than that.
is this David Ruffin?
That one.
I haven't seen that picture since college.
It's
I
a
haven't seen
Steve
that
Harvey
picture since
box.
college.
It's hanging off him. He just looked like he in a box.
Yo,
Oh,
I didn't know that picture still existed on Facebook.
my stomach
So,
hurting.
with that said,
I would
people
have took
out
that.
there, hold on, let's stop sharing. People out there, if you have some pictures on Facebook that you know you may not want other people to see, whether it be an employer or in this case, your friends, colleagues, take them down because they will come back to haunt you. Right? And that last picture, that was a nice picture. And that suit, it was nice.
Yes.
Did you have a haircut or did you have BDB?
That was I started my locks.
He was a young old man.
A young
All right.
He was somebody's uncle daddy.
I'm sorry. Random username. This one, I'm gonna be laughing at this one all night. Right
I
here.
want to know who
At the
random
50-yard line. Damn, that hurt.
Please talk to the poor friend. I want to send you Amazon card.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, Kendra, now we got jokes. Not crispy.
I will
It was
definitely.
crispy. It just was pushed back a little bit. Actually, it wasn't even pushed back. That's where my hairline was. So I just not even. I was holding on.
Jenny said, "See, this is why I have a picture of my cat on my page." You know, I ain't gonna laugh too much because y'all.
It'd be.
Bro, I am not laughing at you. Please don't clown me next week. Please.
You know we're delayed, right? So when we're just a little bit delayed from when they're seeing it. He said, "Not the uncle daddy."
Oh shit! Chopper suit. Come on, random username.
I need his cash up. I need their cash up.
Random username, please inbox me on Facebook or IG. I won't tell.
Danny, come on, help me out, brother. I know you watching. I know you got.
That might be Danny. That might be Danny.
No.
Help me, Danny. Help me. Zen, somebody out there. I'm going down. I'm going down fast. But nah, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for rocking with us tonight. Well,
and don't forget, if y'all want to be a part of the best real estate team and get the best experience, sign up for Empower 50.
It is in the description. And Barbara, you are wrong. You are dead wrong.
Oh my God.
I was waiting for you to see it.
Barbara, you're banned from all future live streams.
But listen, bro, you age backwards. For real.
Yeah.
For real.
Oh shit. Danny, you're not even helping me out here. Give me some water. Help me up. But again, thank you all for watching tonight. We did touch on some very important topics regarding discrimination and how to position yourself in this housing market.
Yes.
And if you want to, again, learn about the housing market, work with the best team, and also just be able to laugh and have fun. We understand this is a very serious process, but there's no reason why we can't enjoy it in the process, right? Sometimes like you have to laugh to not be totally distraught at some of the stuff that's happening in the housing market that we see behind the scenes.
Did you just cash app Darlene Perry?
Hold on. I saw it. There we go.
You had to bribe her. You had to. Yes, you did.
No.
That's not fair.
No. That's probably Muffin's family. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you, the Perrys. Thank you. I need that. That's like 1 out of 10. But Barbara,
drop the link in the chat.
Barbara, really?
Yes.
Damn. Mama, please don't. No.
No, what mom said?
She said, don't do you like that.
Thank you. All
We're not
right.
doing David Ruffin like nothing.
Hey, matter of fact, I need that picture in the suit because I thought that picture was taken right outside of Georgetown University back in 2006. We just finished an event, and yeah. But nah. So y'all have a good night. I will be putting out a recorded video talking about the housing market and buyer sellers market later this week. So be on the lookout for that. Ambernique, how can people get in touch with you?
So you guys can get in touch with me. I am Ambernique the Realtor on Instagram. I'll finally be posting for y'all. And on YouTube, Living in the Carolinas vlog. So I have been subpoenaed to social media, even though I hate it.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. About time. About time. And Sahad's information is in the chat. I will try to put it. I'm about to leave right now, but I will put it in the description once this loads. You all know how to contact me. If you need anything, we look forward to helping you and being able to be that resource for you. Have a good night.
Bye, y'all.